IMSA WeatherTech SportsCar Championship from Belle Isle. Hello everybody and welcome to IMSA TV and IMSA Radio together. We're just outside downtown of Detroit on Belle Isle, right in the middle of the Detroit River, where once a year these parkland access roads gets turned into a racetrack. Done very nicely indeed, by the way. We're in the very odd situation here at the Raceway at Belle Isle Park of looking south to Canada. Yeah, that doesn't work for me either. Detroit, Michigan, it's just a vagary of the geography here. 13 corners, 2.35 miles, action areas. The first long straight down into turn 3 for the braking area there. The back straight, the Strand with the Detroit River on driver's left into turn 7, round the fountain area. Beautiful that looks as well today. And then down the start-finish straight. We've seen one or two passes tried into turn 1 and turn 2. And Shea Adam has this early Continental Tire pit lane report.
The front wheels are coming off with the number 75 Mercedes, the Sun Energy 1 car started by Kenny Hebel. They have taken off the right-hand side and they are working on the left-hand side as well. This was not scheduled, not planned, because if you were going to change onto new tires, you could have done that before the race started and just taken the penalty and moving to the back. If they can get the car back to pit out, it will see that red light as mentioned before, and it will have to wait for the rest of the field. So there is drama already for this 75 car.
Thank you, Shea. And that is before the green flag is even shown. Particular hello to everyone in Europe watching on the IMSA app or on IMSA.tv. And if you want to get in touch with us at IMSA Radio, we'll try and get through some of your tweets, although this is a pretty quick fire race. Michelin post-race tech. We'll have Shea Adam and I discussing the day's events for about half an hour afterwards. Absolutely picture perfect, could not be any better. And the two Cadillacs then will lead the field around. How appropriate in the Chevrolet Sports Car Classic here. Over 100 minutes, the straight ton in terms of the clock, and something over that on the start-finish straight, around about 155, 160 miles an hour, even for the GT cars. The green flag is in the air, and we're racing on the raceway at Belle Isle, underway, and a great jump away from the number 5 of Christian Fittipaldi. I pause for a moment there as Misha Goiberg is toughing it out round the outside of Eric Curran, gets very close to the wall at the exit, but gets through in a second. Well, he's close, he's kind of there, and he will have the inside line going into turn 3, and the 55 Mazda, Jonathan Bomarino, trying to follow him through. Goiberg through in a second. Big, bold, brave move by the Russian as he went round the outside. Goiberg has done a cracking job as he got round the outside. That was a big boys move, and fair play to Eric Curran as well. He was a part of that. Great driving both. Fittipaldi, Goiberg, Curran, Bomarino, Long, Scott Sharp, Renke van der Zande in 7th, up from 9th. Ricky Taylor already passed the PC cars in the number 10 championship leading machine. In fact, he's already gone past Renke van der Zande as well, so he's actually up into 7th position already. Leader Christian Fittipaldi. Lawson Aschenbach has held on to the GT Daytona lead. Catherine Legg has held on to second. 5, 85, 31, 55, 70. Your top 6 is made up by Scott Sharp in the number 2. But he's got Ricky Taylor now breathing down his rear aerofoil. Car's looking fabulous in the sunshine. 1 or 2 little bits of shade just where the trees overhang the track. Christian Fittipaldi, I think, is going to lead the first lap for the number 5 Mustang Sampling Racing car. Goiberg, what a run that was in 2nd position. He goes through. Eric Curran settled into 3rd, then Tom Long, Cadillac, Orica Gibson, Cadillac, Mazda, Nismo Ligier, Cadillac, and Multimatic in the top 8. We'll get down to Shea Adam for this Continental Tire pit lane report. Early problems for the 75 was what, Shea?
A very odd situation, John. The rim on the front left tire broke on the outlap. There is actually a split right down the middle and a giant dent in it. They had so much trouble getting the tire off that it's taken until now. Kenny Hebel has just refired the car and is now waiting to be told that he is clear to join as the number 52 rumbles down the pit lane. But the 75 had everything out to try and get that wheel off. They are now changing the right front as well, doing both front tires, giving them new sticker Continentals. But that was a very odd sensation for Kenny.
Good start for the PC pole sitter James French in the 38 Performance Tech car, 9th position. Already pulled out nearly 5 seconds on his closest competition. Tommy Treacy and Brown dropped back a little bit in the 22. Nissan in GTD. Acura leads at Belle Isle, and Catherine Legg is in the lead, and it's Brian Sellers now in, excuse me, I'm very sorry. I'm very sorry. All you Acura and Catherine Legg fans, Lawson Aschenbach has got by the PC of Don Yount. We mentioned this in the qualifying show, that the lead GTD might be able to put the PC car between themselves and the field, and that is exactly what's happened. Thank you, Jeremy. Aschenbach then leading from Catherine Legg. Derek, her father, he had a good chat with him earlier on, looking forward to this race. Catherine dying to get to Le Mans in her future career. And surely it can't be long before somebody recognises her talent. Second place for the Acura, third for Brian Sellers. He's done well. Early going. Corey Lewis in fourth. Audi, Acura, Lamborghini, all mid-engine cars. Daniel Morad, 5th position in the 28 Allegra car. Great line of cars now. And this is not good news for Catherine Legg. It's great news for Lawson Aschenbach, because he's clearing off here. And Don Yount is beginning to hold up Catherine Legg. And she's under pressure now from Brian Sellers, who's under pressure himself from Corey Lewis, 57. Then the PC car, the number 20, the dark coloured car. Then Catherine Legg, 93, Acura 48, 16 and 28 for Morad as they run through. PC is very fast on the straight, but goes very long into turn 7. Catherine Legg has the opportunity round the outside and gets through. Now, will this uncork the bottle as far as GT Daytona? Brian Sellers had a thought going down the inside into it, round the back of the fountain, but discretion, better part of valour there for Brian. And Allegra Motorsports in the shape of Daniel Morad getting alongside the Change Racing Lamborghini, tries to go down the inside and gets through. Magnificent manoeuvre into turn 10, and immediately tries to set about the 48 car. Very, very fair driving from both. It drags alongside and at the line. I think he might have been ahead. It was very close indeed. As through he goes, down into turn 1, and Daniel Morad, by goodness me, what a talent this young man is. 2 opportunist manoeuvres, but pulled off with great aplomb. And now Lawson Aschenbach and Catherine Legg are 2.8 seconds between them, and the 3rd place car is Daniel Morad, who has got past the 2 Lamborghinis into AMG battle going on further back down, with Ben Keating and Cooper McNeil battling for 20th and 21st position. This is fantastic, exactly what we'd expected from GTD on the streets of Belle Isle. Live coverage from IMSA Radio and TV together from trackside. The only broadcast team who are at trackside for every moment of the season. And this is one we did not want to miss. Street fighting on the streets of Detroit Belle Isle. And Don Yount at the moment doing nothing wrong. He's just driving his own race. The frustration will be building up in the GT drivers behind. Can't get through the corners the way they want to, because the aerodynamic grip that's so important to those prototype challenge cars isn't there for them, so they're slower into the corners, but uber quick down the straights. To my right here, I can see the headlights flashing on the Allegra Motorsports Porsche in 3rd place in class. Lexus right up there now as well with Scott Pruitt. He's right behind Corey Lewis. So that's 5th, 6th and 7th in there as well, with Christina Nielsen. Then Ben Keating in 8th in the 33. Coop McNeil in 9th. Jörg Bergmeister's had a good start, up to 10th in the 73 Park Place car. At the head of the field, no change. 2.5 seconds between the 5 Cadillac and the 85, the bright yellow Oreca. Fittipaldi from Goikberg, from Eric Curran, is just half a second further back in 3rd. Then Bomarito for the 55 Mazda is 4th overall. Tom Long, 2nd in the Mazda's 5th. Scott Sharp, Ricky Taylor in 7th, and Van der Zande in 8th. Top 8 separated by just on 7.5 seconds. The 73 car at the moment being shown as Jörg Bergmeister behind the wheel.
That is incorrect. Jörg Bergmeister is behind the pit box, and he just did up his fire suit, actually, so maybe he's going to be called into duty a little bit earlier than expected, but he has to meet the minimum drive time, does Patrick Lindsay, of 30 minutes.
Yeah, and we haven't got anywhere near that yet with just 8 minutes racing in the books. Misha Goldberg having jumped into second place in that bright yellow JDC Miller Motorsports car. He's now got to watch his mirrors as Eric Curran's got the tyres, Continental tyres on the Cadillac up to temperature and pressure. Very noticeable in qualifying that the Cadillacs all took a couple or 3 laps to get their Continental tyres up to pressure and temp. And that's exactly what's happened in the race as well. And now Misha Goldberg, who was mighty on that first lap with relatively little grip. Tyres coming up to temperature now, and the Cadillac beginning to pressure. 5 laps completed. Good run from Jonathan Bomarito in 4th position in the Soul Crystal Red car. Further back, Don Yount now holding up in terms of lap times, holding up those GT Daytona cars quite badly. And in fact, it looks like Yount's got passed now by Daniel Morad, because that was... I thought I could see Scott Pruitt behind him. Yes, I could. So, in terms of the GTD battle, Lawson Aschenbach has now got ahead of Tommy Dreesy. This is a great first stint by the Audi Stevenson car. Catherine Legg is 3 seconds back in 3rd position with Dreesy in between her and her class leader. Daniel Morad, 5.5 seconds back down the road. He will be steaming. Brian Sellers is close back up on the back of the Porsche. 28 and 48 battling for 3rd position. Then Corey Lewis. In fact, Sellers has got by and back up into 3rd place in the kerfuffle into the pit lane. I think that was Don Yount who's just come into the pit lane from that scrap, and that will spring everyone else. It is the 20 car.
That is the number 20 car, Don Yount, staying behind the wheel of that PC car. The team is not expecting him to pit. I think that was a sportsmanship move where he came into the pit lane to clear out of everyone's way. Yeah,
he's not fighting for his own class battle. What it's given us, though, is what an 8 or 9 car train of GTDs behind the number 14 of Scott Pruitt. There's the 63 Bright Red Ferrari of Christina Nielsen leading the championship. Championship leader, championship winner, should I say, from last year. Our championship leader is in that group, though. It's the 33 of Ben Keating and Cooper McNeil. 2nd place for Bolzan and Nielsen in the championship standings as they go at the moment. And Ricky Taylor has caught Scott Sharp for 6th position. And with the fastest lap of the race. Meantime, we've got another little bottleneck starting up behind the 85 car, so we've just started to get into a little bit of a rhythm here. Now, Don Yount came into the pits and straight out, as Shea said, trying to get out of the way, but what he's done, he's come right out in front of the leaders now, and Christian Fittipaldi's gone through. Now it's going to be Misha Goldberg, Eric Curran, Jonathan Bomarito, Tom Long, Scott Sharp, and Ricky Taylor still there.
The problem for the prototypes, though, John, is going to be just how condensed the GTD cars are, because I just watched them all come across the start-finish line. I think that Christian Fittipaldi is going to be in amongst them this lap. There is not that much of a gap.
And they're all having a cracking scrap amongst themselves, Shea. That's a very, very fair point that you've made. Also, I think Tommy Dreesy's holding up Catherine Legg at the moment, and that's allowing Lawson Aschenbach to make good his escape. Fastest lap of the race this time around by Renger van der Zande in the number 90, the 8th position. Bright blue Multimatic, as he's under pressure at the moment by Ricky Taylor down into turn 3, and Taylor toughs it out on the inside and makes that one stick. Now he's coming to the scene of his accident. Will he be slightly more conservative into that right-hander in turn 4? He was close to the wall on the exit there. So he has put that behind him. Sign of a great racing driver's brain, that. What's happened has happened, what's done is done. It's all about the here, the now, and the next corner. Goikberg in the bright yellow 85 then, with 4.6 seconds of a gap between himself and the leader, Christian Fittipaldi. 25.2 by Van der Zande last time around, was a whole second quicker than Christian Fittipaldi. And when Fittipaldi does come amongst that, what, 7 or 8 car train of GT Daytonas, that is going to be very interesting. Danger time for him. Goikberg takes a little bit of a defensive line into turn 10, and that's, oh, he's moved across on the 31 car, and that sent him wide into 11, and that, he was the architect of his own downfall there. Far too defensive, coming back out onto the strand from behind the fountain, and a little bit naughty actually, moved over to the right and tried to squeeze Eric Curran. Curran was having nothing of it and made the room, had his foot in the doorway, and at that point wasn't going to allow the door to close. Forceful but fair. And Goikberg now fighting a rearguard action, as next up will be Jonathan Bomarito to put a challenge on the now third place 85 JDC Motorsports car, Miller Motorsports car. Goikberg just easing across. The white lines on the road making it pretty easy for us to see that, but I think that's within the bounds of legality. Came from the middle of the road. Aschenbach pulling away in 11th position from the rest of the GT Daytona field. Catherine Legg has been sitting looking at the back of Tommy Dreesy's car for a bit too long now. It is a pass for position, so no blue flags, but the cars are in different classes. Just wonder perhaps if Dreesy might be getting a talking to from the team. I'm sure that the Acura team have wandered down to Tommy's team, the 26 team, and had a little word and said, come on guys, really? There's 3 cars in your class.
And don't forget, John,
sorry, go ahead, Jim.
They've already pulled a car into the pits, have the Bar 1 team, because worrying about traffic, so that's not something that they are immune to.
It's a fair point. Eric Curran's about to put the fastest lap of the race in. He's just gone through, he has. And a 25.1 for Eric Curran now brings the lead to Christian Fittipaldi down to just 4 seconds. They're in traffic now. Jonathan Bennett is the first driver to start to get lapped from the back of the field, the back of that line of GT cars. Great dive down the inside. Again, same point, signature corner that seems to be for Ricky Taylor and the number 10 Cadillac in turn 3. And he's now gone ahead of the Nissan, and following him through, Renger van der Zande, so Scott Sharp down 8th position. That's the number 2 car that they both got past there. Van der Zande showing good pace actually in that number 90 car. Did hold the fastest lap for a moment, but Eric Curran at the 2nd position at the moment in the 31, the black and white. A little bit of yellow on it as well. Cadillac has set sail behind Christian Fittipaldi, trying to close him down. Fittipaldi cruising at the front of the field. Lawson Aschenbach cruising at the front of GTD. And through goes James French, cruising at the front of PC. Catherine Legg now has a decent lead back to Brian Sellers. So there's been a little bit of a shake-up in that group behind Tommy Dreesy. Catherine Legg, all of a sudden, has a couple of seconds on Brian Sellers, or thereabouts, as the leaders beginning to come past that back of the line of the GT Daytona. Robert Alon gets past. Oz Negri Jr. will be the next one in the Acura with the black front end. Through goes Goikberg on him at turn number 3. Traffic jam here. Looks like a Monday morning commute at the moment. Everybody wants the same piece of road. Everybody wants to be 6 feet ahead. Danger time for all of these prototype drivers, and indeed for the GT Daytonas. There's a skill to being passed as much as there is a skill to passing these guys, because when you're being passed, you don't want to give up too much ground to the cars that you're racing. Remember, 3 different classes, but all having their own races at the moment, and it is fast and furious on the streets of Belle Isle. An hour and 23 minutes still to go. Live, the IMSA WeatherTech SportsCar Championship. IMSA Radio and IMSA TV together, trackside. Great motor racing. Ricky Taylor right on the tailpipes of the prototype ahead, which is the Jonathan Bomarito Mazda number 55. He's already disposed of Tom Long. And down into turn 7, very close call indeed on the Patrick Lindsay number 73 Porsche. but he managed to get through. And also going down the inside there was Ricky Taylor. Taylor has worked his way up from the back of the prototype grid to 5th position overall, and he's still, and this is crucial, only 8 seconds behind the leader. So all of that fighting, all of that passing and repassing and passing the slower cars as well as the cars in his class, and he's still only 8 seconds behind the leader. This has been a sterling job by all the guys in traffic, but Ricky Taylor is doing exactly what you would expect him to do. The class of the field this year, the number 10 car and the Taylor boys. And they're having to do it the hard way. Ricky Taylor will know that he wants to repay his teammates and his team mechanics as well on the strand again for the 13th time, heading down towards the heavy braking area, turn 7. And Jonathan Bomarito works his way through traffic in the beautiful dark red metallic number 55, turns into turn number 8. Stay off the curbs there, lads. They're a bit lively. Through 9 and now into very long turn 9, and then into the right-hander at 10. Back out onto the strand again with the Detroit River on the left-hand side for the drivers. Good drive by Bomarito here, trying not to think about what's going on behind him, and he's right up behind Misha Goldberg, who was held up momentarily by the 63 of Christina Nielsen. Oh, and Bomarito goes down the inside through the kink right in front of us and gets a good run, but he isn't in position, or is he? Goes down the inside into turn 2. That's an audacious manoeuvre, and what a pass that was from Jonathan Bomarito. He's Goldberg. That's exactly what Misha did earlier on the other side, used the traffic, but this time, oh, he's coming back at him. Goldberg's not going to have it 3 wide into turn 3. It's not going to work, and Ricky Taylor goes way too wide. And there's a bit of carbon fibre flying from the Mazda, I think. There was a touch there. Unbelievable. Absolutely unbelievable driving by all 3 there. And Goldberg back into 3rd position. And that is a good run for great driving by both of them. And now the leader, Christian Fittipaldi, has got Eric Curran coming from 5.6 seconds down to 1.2 this lap. That's in the space of a handful of laps here. Goldberg 28.0 last time around, 26.2 for Curran ahead of him, 28.7 for Christian Fittipaldi. He's stroking it at the moment, but they'll be on the phone to tell him that Eric Curran is on his way. Still have not got to the 30 minutes here for driver changes. Oh my goodness, this is so tight. Let's go back to Shea Adam, this Continental Tire pit lane report.
We haven't gotten to the 30-minute mark for the PC and GTD cars, but of course the prototypes only needed to get 5 minutes. Everybody has now reached that, and there were a couple of teams that we thought maybe would take a chance and bring the car in after that short amount of time, namely the number 22. That was the one that I suspected would come in. Well, Johannes van Overbeek, the co-driver of that car to Ed Brown, is still sitting on the pit wall with the headset on. He does not have his helmet, and he is not looking ready to go. But the sister car, the number 2 ESM machine, Ryan Dial, just came over and put his helmet and Hans device on, and they have 4 sticker Continental tires up on the wall for that number 2 machine.
Brilliant racing in the prototype. It's more like touring car racing. We'll see TCR in IMSA racing next year in the Continental Tires as a class there, and there was definitely a little touch left front to right rear from the Mazda to the 85 car, piece of carbon fibre. How that will affect the performance of the number 55 Mazda in the hands of Jonathan Bomarito. And very close calls racing right the way through that prototype field. As Ricky Taylor now has the Brian Sellers number 48 Lamborghini right in front of him as they exit the right-hander at the back of the fountain. Should be able to use the big 6.2 litre V8 power to go through, and he does. Great circuit here. Such a shame we only use it once a year, and congratulations to everybody once again involved, whole Penske organisation and everybody involved here, turning this into a beautiful parkland area, from a beautiful parkland area into the racetrack at Belle Isle for this weekend. So still just an hour and 18 to go. Goodness, if it's going to be like this, I'm going to have to lie down in a darkened room. This is the whole way through. Lead now is 1.7 seconds, and Christian Fittipaldi's got the hurry up. His fastest sector one of the race, coming off the back of his fastest lap of the race at 25.1. Eric Curran has the fastest lap of the race at 25.181, 25.187 for Christian Fittipaldi. I'll keep an eye on the action as Shea Adam speaks to John Doonan in this Continental Tire Pit Lane Report.
John, last year it was the start of a wonderful year for Mazda here at Belle Isle when the number 55 made it to the podium for the first time, kicked off a slew of poles for you guys. How important is it to get good momentum out of this race?
Well, these places are tough, these street circuits, Shea, and we were kind of surprised last year to get a podium, but you're exactly right. It gave us a lot of momentum. Long Beach proved to be a good place for the new Mazda RT24P, and we're hoping that today goes our way. These places are tough. There's a little bit of contact, a lot of tough racing, and I certainly hope that in the next 100 minutes we have a chance to step up not only onto the podium, but maybe a couple steps up.
You've been listening to the team radio. Has Jonathan said anything about the car handling differently since that contact?
No, he's just got his head down and he's trying to make up positions. There's a little bit of GT traffic that we're trying to use to our advantage. So we'll see how it shakes out with strategy, and who knows what's going to happen here at the end.
Good luck, John. Always great to talk to the head of Mazda Motorsport.
Yeah.
Thanks very much.
That's a man who has gasoline running through his veins, being a massive supporter of this form of racing, and Mazda, of course, putting a huge amount of actual cash money into grassroots motorsport, with the Road to Indy and the Road to 24. Road to Indy particularly apposite this weekend, of course, with the Indy cars having two races here on the streets of Belle Isle. Let's check in with GTD. Lawson Aschenbach leads GT Daytona now by 17 seconds plus on Catherine Legg, who is still staring at the rear wing of Tommy Dreesy's 26 PC. She's got 2.1 seconds on the 48 Lamborghini of Brian Sellers. 57, 93 Acura, 48 Lamborghini. Then 3.5 seconds back to the Porsche of Daniel Morad, the 28 Allegra Motorsports car. Corey Lewis is just 3/4 of a second further back in the 16 Lamborghini. Top six made up by Scott Pruitt. Pruitt in that chrome blue number 14 GTD Lexus. He's got the seconds further back. He's got Christina Nielsen in the bright red Ferrari 63 chasing him down. At the top of the field, Christian Fittipaldi holding his lead now at about 1.8 seconds from Eric Curran in second place, lapping very similar times last time around. Misha Goikberg 7 seconds further back. He's back in third position in that Oregon number 85, but he's got Jonathan Bomarito on the 55. Best of the Mazdas, the dark red metallic car, just 6/10 behind him. Eric Curran finding a bit of space on the racetrack and starting to put in a fast lap. Meantime, the BMW of Brett Curtis has Patrick Lindsay, Oz Negri Jr. and Robert Along right behind them. As through goes Jonathan Bomarito on the 75 AMG Mercedes. Kenny Bull at the wheel of that car. And it's 3 wide with the number 10 car as they go down the strand on the back straight. That was a close call indeed. And this is Lawson Aschenbach trying to put a lap on the 75 car as well. So that was a points leader in the championship, a race leader in class, all trying to go past the 75 car at the same time, and that was centimetres, fractions of an inch away from disaster for all three of them. Great driving, heads-up stuff. What that has done is allowed Renger van der Zande, who's dropped back just a little bit, to have another go at Tom Long. He's got alongside him, but can't find the run down the inside he was looking for. That was not the line he was looking for down there. However, he's going about his business as a pit stopper, I think. No. Thought Tom Long was jinking to the right to come into the pits, but actually he's going past the GT Daytona leader. Man, that Mazda's quick in a straight line. Very quick indeed. We have still to go an hour and 14 minutes. 33 car going slowly. There's been an issue here. This is the class leader. Oh, there's been an issue, all right. The class points leader he's lost the right front wheel and part of the brake disc. The rotor's gone. He's been in the wall. And drama for Ben Keating, and the 75's in there with the 90 as well. That's Renger van der Zande along with Kenny Bull. Drama, and it's a full course yellow. The safety car will come out with 1 hour and 13 minutes on the nose to go. The big drama is the 33 GTD, Ben Keating and Jerome Blakemolen Mercedes GTD car well, it's not going to finish the race. That car's out. It's missing the right front corner. Secondary drama for the 75, and Renger van der Zande and the hopes of Multimatic have gone up in smoke into the tyres on the far side of the track. Shea Adam has the GTD Championship points leader scraping to a halt in the pit lane, and it's missing an important component, Shea.
Well, it's missing a wheel, but it's also missing the brake disc. As you said, everything is gone. It's like a giant dinosaur has taken a bite out of the front of this right AMG GT3. Ben Keating brings the car to a stop and just sort of looks forlorn. He's staying behind the wheel of the car as the IMSA safety officials look at it to try and assess if this car can even be driven safely back to its garage area. Of course, it would, if it was left in the pit lane, be in the way of the sister car of the other Riley Technologies AMG GT3. That is the number 50. Ben Keating has now fired it backed up. He's been told to take it behind the wall. This is game over for our points leaders.
And meantime, the number 90, the Visit Florida machine, as the forlorn sight of the 33 going back behind the wall. Well, let's find out what happened there. Keating coming off the strand into the, exactly the same accident as we saw from one of the PC cars. Just lost it on the bump and couldn't get the car stopped going into turn number 8, and hits the wall hard enough to scatter the safety workers behind it. He moved the concrete blocks there, and it's ripped it off that right front wheel. Meantime, Renger van der Zande is out of the Visit Florida car. Very unlike Ben Keating to make a mistake. Looked like to me as though the front of the car got airborne on the jump and he couldn't get it stopped. Fine margins here. You're always on the ragged edge from the... Now this other number 90 car, this was the prototype that was quickest in qualifying, remember? Before the qualifying was scrubbed. Renger van der Zande is incensed. I have a suspicion that he didn't drive that into the wall on his own. The 75 car was around there, and the 75 car about to be lapped by its leader. Oh my goodness, no wonder he's annoyed. It's turn 3, and Kenny Abul just didn't brake for the corner at all. Abul is in the pit lane, and he's nailed the 90 car on the right-hand side. There was no way he was going to make the corner. Frankly, the 90 car is going about his business perfectly normally, and he's about to turn right, and the Mercedes-Benz comes from so far back. Shea Adam.
John, remember, this is the car that had to come in on the pace lap because they had that rim cut. That was the left front. Looked like they had a left front issue. Again, that could have been the reason why Kenny didn't make the turn.
Well, I think it's a bit more than that as well, Shea, because he was about to be lapped by Lawson Aschenbach. That's the leader. He would have been getting a blue flag. He was, in fact, getting a blue flag. No reason for him to be holding Lawson Aschenbach up, and I just wonder if his attention was taken. He missed his braking point and careered straight on. He would have gone straight into the barriers. He got very similar damage, actually, in terms of suspension and brake damage as the 33 car. An extraordinary piece of driving, though, and just a lack of concentration. I mean, earlier on, we'd seen it 3 wide behind that 75 car. And really, got to say, Kenny needs to be a little bit more aware around there. Easy for me to say, I'm not sitting in the seat, but he got a very bad exit going out onto the strand and then moved 3 lanes of traffic across to the right, which I don't understand. Into the pits. Into the pit lane. Everybody taking this opportunity. Shea Adam with his Continental Tire pit lane report.
Everybody except the 22 has come in the prototype class as far as they are concerned. We only have 1 PC contender in. We have a driver change for the number 10. It's now Jordan's turn. The 31 does a huge sideways burnout. Dane Cameron behind the wheel of that. Now Joao Barbosa in the 5. So both of those cars doing driver changes as well. The 70 and the 55 took fuel and tires and did driver changes. And the 85 has Steven Simpson behind the wheel now. Misha Goikberg's day is done. A huge round of applause for the Konica Minolta team, though, because they did an excellent pit stop and jumped way up in the charts.
Yeah, I think the 5 and 31 have swapped places, though, haven't they? Did Dane Cameron get ahead of Barbosa as he went out there?
Yes, he did, and it was partially because of the way that the car dropped off the jacks. Dane already had his foot on the gas. He was ready to go. He did such a large burnout that he actually gained an advantage over his teammates, so that was a very, very good stop by the 31 crew as well.
Yeah, they were able to take that opportunity. Such bad luck this season for the number 90 team. had an accident at, street circuits, not their favourite, are they? It was at Long Beach. I just remember that now as I started the sentence. They crashed here last year. This time they are collected by an errant GT Daytona car. I have a strong suspicion that Kenny Abdul may be being called to the principal office at the end of this and might be having a word with the race officials. The 36 has gone through. James French is going to lead the race. He's going to be scored as the leader. Didn't stop. So that's going to be interesting on the restart. Now that is bad news for anybody who expected a wave by, of course, because the leader of the race is a class leader. So there won't be any wave bys there. Very interesting. The 22, I think, had just gone a lap down, but Ed Brown had stayed out. Here's the GTDs coming in. And now I think we are going to have all hands on deck in the pit lane, where our Continental Tire pit lane reporter is Shea Adam, and she's watching all the action. How she does it all at once, I've no idea.
Andy Lally is getting in behind the wheel of the number 93. Catherine Legg's day is done. Madison Snow into the 48 Lamborghini. And we have Andrew Davis into the leader, at least he was when he came into the pits, the number 57 Audi. For the number 63, Christina Nielsen, an excellent job getting out of the Ferrari. Watched a little bit yesterday when they were doing practice driver changes. She was getting a little bit hung up. Cooper McNeil is out of the 50, the AMG GT3, the lone one left in the race. We started with 3, we are down to 1. I believe Daniel Morad stayed. No, he did not. Matthew Jaminet is behind the wheel of the 28 Porsche now. And in the 73 Porsche, we have Jörg Bergmeister. The 14 Lexus is now Sage Karam. The number 15 Lexus is still Jack Hawksworth. And the number 54 is now Colin Brown. And Colin will be eager to get this race going, because as soon as the green flag falls, both drivers from the number 54 Core Autosport Porsche are getting on a helicopter and going to race some GRC cars.
Oh, yes, that's right. Still got a bit of clean up to do. Now, where is James French in terms of in the queue? He is way back down. The safety car, I think, has picked up the Ed Brown Nissan, so that will have to be a wave by. And he'll be able to get around and throw himself into the pit lane right on the end of the lead lap by my small bear of small brain working out. Ed Brown with his visor up. We're talking to the pits at the moment. Still got over an hour to go here, and I don't think any of the cars that have just stopped there can go an hour. Certainly the 10 can't. None of the Cadillacs can, but I don't think any of them can. So one more pit stop. It was questionable on one pit stop, and now this has become a 2 pit stop race. 40 minutes the maximum on the prototypes, on the Cadillacs in particular. They've taken a little hit on their fuel allowance. Shea Adam.
That's exactly what I was going to say, John.
Sorry.
Was that they might have been able to make it, but then the BOP change issue before this race took away 2 liters of fuel from them, so that would be quite a long stretch. I'm going to try and have a quick chat with Christina Nielsen, fresh out of the Ferrari. Great stint out there. What kind of car does Balzan have underneath him right now?
To be honest, he has a great car. Unfortunately, we had a bit of traffic yesterday in qualifying, and I know it's difficult around the street circuits. We made a slight change. Unfortunately, it wasn't in the right direction, but the car we have right now, we went back to what we had. I think it's absolutely amazing. It's sad that it's so difficult to pass, because I definitely felt like I had more to give than P7, but I couldn't be proud of Scudero Corsa. They had an excellent pit stop, and the car is, yeah, this is one of the cars you don't want to let go of.
Big smile on Christina's face. Third 2 years ago, last year, second 2 years ago. Can she get to first today? I certainly hope so.
Sure, she does as well. Now, been a bit of a change around in GT Daytona. Andy Lally leads for Acura in the 93 car, having taken over from Catherine Legg. Now, they were 17 seconds down, of course, before they got closed up. 93 Acura from Mathieu Jaminet now in the Allegra Porsche in second place. Balzan in third. That was a great, Alessandro Balzan, great turnaround by the Scuderia Corsa team from Ferrari. So he's up 3 places. Andrew Davis is the one that loses out. No idea why. Shea Adam will get onto that with the guys at Stevenson from first, and a commanding first. Now, of course, he's going to lose the 17 seconds behind the safety car. So he's dropped back. Madison Snow has dropped down as well in the 48 car because Brian Sellers was third. Jeff Siegel's gone up in the Acura. So they've played the pit lane game very, very well. He's gone from 21st position overall up to 16th position overall. Wow. Jens Klingmann now in the BMW will take that car home. I wonder if some of those GTDs might be able to go the distance from here. Possibly, about an hour. It's going to be tight. Might need a splash at the end. That might spice things up as well. Shea Adams' work not done as our Continental Tire pit lane reporter. Lexus have both dropped back down the order as well. Sage Karam having had that 14 car in the hands of Scott Pruitt up inside the top 6. Now just holding on to a top 10 position. 16 cars, Jeroen Mull has just gone back out. He came in a lap after everybody else, was in 4th position and has plummeted. Now sits in 10th position in class. The 2 Lexus have lost out as well, 14 and 15, and now 20th and 22nd overall, so they've dropped back. Coming down to 60 minutes, 1 hour to go, live from Belle Isle. This is the Chevrolet Sports Car Classic, part of the IMSA WeatherTech SportsCar Championship. More damage, I'm afraid, for the team at Visit Florida Racing to fix. They had a write-off car on the streets of Long Beach, new chassis for that car last time out at Cota, and I'm afraid it's been damaged again. Absolutely not of their making here. Complete brain fade from the GT Daytona Mercedes driver Kenny Abul, and James French now pits from the lead, which will take him out of the firing line, really. That's quite smart. Did they get a lap on their team, on everyone else? Yes, they did. So that's quite smart because of where they were on the track. They could do that. And that means that Dane Cameron will bring the field back to green flag. Bruno Junqueira now in 10th position in 2nd place in the P2, and in the PC category, Ed Brown has just pitted the 22 car on the end of the lead lap. He should be able to get out and round, and having changed drivers. Let's go down to the pit lane. GT Daytona, Brian Sellers has handed over the 48 car to his teammate Madison Snow.
Brian, when you brought the car in, you guys were in 3rd position, but you left the pit lane in 5th. What happened?
I'm not sure. It seems like the Audi and us are kind of in the same position, which makes sense, you know, being the same car. And it seems like we fuel a little bit slower than the others. And unfortunately, a place like this really comes into play. You do everything you can to save fuel throughout the stint, not overuse, so hopefully you can have a short fill time. But today it doesn't seem to matter so much. I mean, it's a little bit demoralizing for us, and I would imagine even more so for Stevenson, who dropped from the lead to 4th. So, you know, it's one of the things we have to have a look at because it makes it difficult to race.
Does Madison have a car underneath him where he can get back up to the front, though?
Yeah, I mean, the car's really good. It's strong. I think the race pace is actually really, really good. Our outright speed is maybe a little bit off, but that stint we were really good on the tires, and I still had some left at the end to be able to push. But I mean, everyone says the same thing around here. It's really, really difficult to pass, and unfortunately, to make a pass, it has to be kind of a low percentage move, and we're still trying to go points racing at the end of the day. So Madison's smart, and I'm happy he's in this position to be able to show how good he is. So I hope he makes us look great.
Can you guys make it to the end, or do you need to come in and fuel again?
No, I think this yellow, I think, should push us to the end. I say that, and, you know, who knows, but I'm pretty certain we'll be okay with this extended yellow. Our window was 58, 59 minutes, and this should kind of push us over the edge to be able to not have to conserve anything.
It's not often you hear that tone in Brian Sellers' voice, is it, John?
No, he's normally, he's Mr. Exciting, but he's also Mr. Positive normally, and there's just a slight hint there of resignation. Shane, just want to go back to the prototype pit stops where we've got time while the Corvette is still leading the cars round. Heck of a job by the 31 crew to get Dane Cameron out ahead of the number 5 of Joao Barbosa. I didn't see a stumble from the 5 team. Are we sure everything went all right for both of those crews? I'm kind of, I suppose you could have short-filled the 31. You know you've got to stop again just to get track position. Any ideas from your vantage point? Shea will see if we can get an answer from the guys down at the 31 and the 5, battling for second position in the championship at the moment. There's 8 points between the 5 and the 31 in the favour of the 5 at the moment. But what a drive back by Ricky Taylor. Jordan now in the 3rd place Cadillac number 10. Order has been restored at the top of the field. Helped a little bit by this safety car, yes, but there was some great overtaking by Ricky Taylor. That is not dismiss that at all. Marvellous stuff. He had to make some hard passes. Looks like the safety car lights are out. 57 minutes to go. Leading cars cannot make it to the end of the IMSA WeatherTech SportsCar Championship on this tank of fuel. GTD cars probably can. Emphasis on probably at the moment. The more thirsty ones might be sweating just a little bit. Full course caution about to come to an end. Kenny Bull diving into the inside of turn 3 at unabated speed and taking out the number 90 of Renger van der Zande, the Multimatic Gibson. Left and right weaving. Now this is very interesting because the prototype leader, Patricia O'Ward, no, it's not. Sorry, my apologies. It's the 20 car. It's Ryan Lewis who's got himself in between the leaders there. So that's going to be interesting. Andy Lally right up there in the line as well as we go back green. Oh, and a jump to the inside by the Cadillac number 10. 1, 2, 3 wide. Oh, put down the outside. Brilliant move into turn 1 and through to turn 2. Joel Miller goes from 4th position at the line. He's up at least to 3rd, maybe to 2nd there. And he has got, yeah, he's got him into 2nd position. Down into turn 3, he's going to have to defend on the right-hand side. No way either the Cadillacs are coming from that far back. They're all offline. It's all slippery. There's too many marbles and dirt and debris down there. Joel Miller, pass of the race on the restart. Was absolutely on it. Caught everyone else napping. Round the outside of turn 1, then to the inside of turn 2. 4th to 2nd. Just like that. Magic stuff. Dane Cameron leading by 2.1 seconds, got the jump on the field. Joel Miller for Mazda. Somebody go and fan John Doonan, the head of Mazda Motorsport, down, because he will be absolutely on it. Mazda, the grey car, in 2nd position. Joel Miller, then Joao Barbosa in 3rd for the Mustang Sampling Racing car. So the 31 machine leads it. This is going to be a very interesting for the championship if it stays like this. Jordan Taylor's got to bring it home from here. Now you would have thought any decent position for the 10 car starting at the back of the prototype field, but now in 4th position, I've got a feeling they can smell something better than any decent position. Just 3.7 seconds off the lead. The Mazda in 4th position is the 55, the red car of Tristan Nunez. Stephen Simpson now aboard the 85 JDTC Miller Motorsport car, the top 6 within 6 seconds. Then the 2 Nissans into the pit lane. That's Chamonix. Chamonix in the pit lane, the 28 Allegra car. Now that cannot be on schedule. Shea Adam.
They are not stopping the car at its pit box, John. The 16 Lamborghini, the Change Racing car, has also come in the pits as well. Penalties being served.
Thank you, Shea. Well, 16 car is in the penalty box, and this is a long hold. This could be a break of pass around or safety car procedure. You don't normally see such a long hold, Shea Adam. Fortunately, our IMSA pit lane officials are very good at letting us know what's going on. So Chamonix and Jerome Moll, 28 and 16, Porsche and Lamborghini in the pits. Chamonix was just a drive-through. Jerome Moll was stopped, but is now going again. We've lost Renger van der Zande in the 90 car. We've lost the 33 of Ben Keating, a very unusual misjudgment from Ben coming through from 7 to 8. He hit the wall very hard, ripped off the right front. We've got a debris flag at turn 4 and 5, and Shea Adam has the answer on the penalties.
Well, the 28 ran over some of its pit equipment during the pit stop. That's what that penalty was for. The 16, though, a much more severe penalty. It ran the red light at pit exit when that was on. So that's why they bring you in to stop and hold. They don't mess around with that pit exit light.
No, absolutely right as well. The debris flags, were at 11 and 12 around the far side of the circuit. A little bit of carbon fibre just offline. The yellow and red stripe flags can mean, well, it basically means an impediment on the circuit, whether that is fluid, which it most often is, or debris. Rubbish on the track flagged. 3.6 seconds the lead to Dane Cameron. Third place in the championship for these guys in the 31. And then the battle for second on down. The 7 of Joel Miller's Mazda, 5 Cadillac, 10 Cadillac, the black car, 55 Mazda, dark red car, and Stephen Simpson in the 85 yellow car. They are all battling for position, and they're separated by, quite frankly, nothing at all in racing terms. Less than 3 seconds, or just on 3 seconds. And it looks to me as though Ryan DL is closing in behind as well. He's in the number 2 Nismo-powered Ligier in 7th position. That's the Tequila Patron-sponsored car. Wow, what a race we've had so far, and we've still got 51.5 minutes to go. In GTD, Andy Lally leads it from Balzan, Alessandro Balzan in second, and in third now, Andrew Davis is storming back through the field. Acura, Ferrari, Audi, Acura with Jeff Siegel another 2 seconds further back, but the top 3 under a second apart there, with prototypes coming through now. It's the 22 of Johannes van Overbeek trying to get back onto the back of the prototype field. Remember, Ed Brown smartly stayed out, got his lap back and did the pit stop late. Johannes van Overbeek, though, now having to go through the traffic, having been out of position on the restart. But the battle for the lead in GT Daytona has Acura versus Ferrari. What a development year it's been for Michael Shank Racing, for Honda Racing Development, and this Acura NSX. This is a brand new car at the start of this season, racing against the might of Ferrari. And then Audi, new lease of life this weekend, pole-sitting car, changing the balance of performance, giving that car a little more speed, and that was taken, that opportunity taken with both hands by Lawson Aschenbach. Stunning performance, credit where it's due. He still had to drive the car. Not a great pit stop for the Audi, but back them into third now. They did have a 17.5 second lead at the front of the field. Dane Cameron and Joel Miller, 31 and 70 at the head of the field now, 4 seconds apart, trading faster sector times, and Joao Barbosa just beginning to fall away from the first 2, and he's right in the clutches now of Jordan Taylor. But the GTD battles are phenomenal right throughout the field. BMW number 96, Jens Klingmann, looking at the back of the 48. That's Madison Snow in the Lamborghini. Jeff Siegel ahead of them. Then Andrew Davis, that's 5th, 6th and 7th behind Andrew Davis. 4th, 5th and 6th, excuse me. But it's just one long line, really. Been a brilliant battle at the head of the field. Lawson Aschenbach took his opportunity, brilliant from pole position. 17.5 second lead before the full course caution, and he's in the pit lane now for this Continental Tire Pit Lane Report, live from Belle Isle.
Lawson, a bit of a boring stint for you. I mean, took the green flag and then just checked out. Were you bored out front?
No, definitely not bored. You can never be at a street course, but yeah, I knew the first couple laps were going to be really difficult, and we were going to have to get by the PC cars as quick as we could. And fortunately, I made the move, I think, into the second lap, into turn 1, and got past one of them, and that's basically what's the difference, and I was able to kind of check out from there. But just really disappointed in the caution. That kind of driving is not needed in this series, and it's just really disappointing to see that. I feel sorry for Ranger. Great kid, great driver in that team. I mean, they don't deserve to get hit like that, and we don't deserve, none of the competitors deserve to have cautions because of those types of situations. So disappointed for them, and hope he's okay. But most importantly, I want to say thanks to Stevenson Motorsports. I mean, our backs have been a little bit against the wall the last couple of months, and we've been fast. We just haven't quite showed our true pace. And here, things are going well. Andrew's doing a great job, I think, in third right now, and I know he's going to do a great job bringing it home. Hopefully, we can fight for the win as the tires wear out, and we have a little bit maybe better grip towards the end of the race.
Good luck.
Thank you.
Ryan DL coming in the pit lane, number 2 Nissan. I wonder if that, he can't do 50 minutes, can he? In that car, has he stopped now to go to the end of the race? The number 2 of Ryan DL. He's stayed in the car, he's back out on the circuit. It's a really bold call if they're doing that. Shea Adam will find out. Could be fuel to the end of the race now. Maybe gambling on another yellow flag, which wouldn't be a bad bet, would it? Let's be honest. On a straight track, 4.2 seconds the lead at the head of the field. 31 Cadillac from the 70 Mazda. Then Cadillac number 5, Cadillac number 10. Your top 4 now 8 seconds apart. But to the GTD, the street-based cars on the streets of Belle Isle here in the Detroit River are putting on a show. Andy Lally just 0.3 of a second ahead of Alessandro Balzan. Acura versus Ferrari and Audi in 3rd position. Under a second between the top 3. 3 cars with the engine in the middle of the chassis. Very good balance. That gives a race car. 4th car, also an Acura. Again, mid-engined. 5th car, Lamborghini. Guess where that engine is? Yeah, in the middle. The first non-mid-engine car, Jens Klingmann, in the 96 blue and yellow BMW. But they're all in a pretty straight line as they're fighting past the PCs. Oh, this is not good news for Balzan. Alessandro Balzan got alongside the PC car. Couldn't get through. Across the bridge at the exit of turn 2. The PC car just dealing with that battle in the GTD. Now, Ryan DL back out the pitch. Shea Adam has this Continental Tire pit lane report. Can they go to the end with the fuel he's got on board that ESM Nissan?
They can, and they were smart and gave him new Continental tires as well during that stop. So Ryan is not only good to go to the end, he's got some fresh rubber.
He's not come out in that much traffic either, Shea, so they've been looking at where he's going to drop out as well. That's really, really smart move. Do something different, you might get a different answer. Do the same as everyone else, well, it's going to be status quo. 23.9 for Joel Miller in the Mazda, fastest lap of the race. John Doonan's going to need oxygen at this rate. His heart rate will be revving quicker than that Mazda 2-litre engine at the moment. The race record here, getting close to it, is a 23.1. That is a new race. That is 23.1, 23.9 we've just had. So the race record of 23.1 from last year, Dave Cameron in the Corvette, the Coyote chassis. Now, 3rd place, Andrew Davies in the Audi, Stevenson Audi, heading down towards the first corner. As more pit stoppers at the moment. And who's just dropped in the pitch, Adam? I've got a flash in my peripheral vision there.
That would be the sold red Mazda, number 55, Tristan Nunez coming in. It will be fuel only, no tires ready for this car.
Okay, that's interesting. You don't have to, you can put tires on whilst you're fueling in the IMSA competition. So it's not like some sports cars where you can only do one or t'other at the same time. Steven Simpson, by the way, putting together a very nice lap indeed. And in comes João Barbosa out of 3rd position. So 5 and 55, both in the pit lane at the moment. So this is, well, you see what's happened here is the guys at ESM have set off a chain reaction. And those guys ahead have got to cover them off. And Ryan DL has put a decent first sector in. Shea?
That's the sound of the Mazda going back out. They did not do tires for the Mazda as believed. They did not do tires for the 5 either. So the Mustang sampling racing car, no new tires. It's Ryan DL out there trying to put a gap on everyone else while his tires are fresh. Yeah,
João Barbosa gets out of the pit lane ahead of Tristan Nunez, but not by much. But their Continental tires are hot. The worry is that the first or second lap out of the pits, you'll be compromised because you're not allowed tyre warmers here in IMSA competition. So the question is, what would Ryan DL be able to do as these guys have pitted? Has he been able to pop around and get ahead of these guys? As it stands, the gap at the head of the field, 3.2 seconds. The GT Daytona battle still awesome out on the circuit at the moment with Acura leading. Acura is leading this motor race. Remember, over the week so far, the 2 days of competition, we have had 20 drivers within a second of each other in the GTD. In comes 4th place Steven Simpson in the 85 car, so they reckon they can do somewhere near 42 minutes.
The car that would be the favorite of the Despicable Me minions, because it is yellow like a banana, is taking fuel only, no tires for this car either. So far, only the 2 ESM car took new tires. The fueling seeming to take quite a while for Steven Simpson. Out, and goodbye, Steven.
Interesting. A lot of our European audience will be wondering why we're not sticking new tires on. The dividend of leaving those tires on is that they are hot and they will retain most of their heat. You cannot have tyre warmers here, so the first lap out on brand new Continentals might not be as quick as a set of used tyres. However, that said, 42 minutes to go on tyres that have already done some work around the street circuit. Your worry might be at the end of the race, you might be struggling just a little bit. Now that said, Continental tyres, their endurance this year has been impeccable. So the die has been cast in terms of those guys just off the pace of the outright leader. In comes the number 10. Jordan Taylor will come in. So, wow, the Cadillacs we think can do 40 minutes. There's 41 minutes and 45 seconds on the clock. This is cutting it very, very close. Shea Adam, they'll have to get every drop into the number 10 car.
Well, and remember, when they had to get every drop in the car at Circuit of the Americas, they used a leash because they realized that they had a time. They are not doing tire change on this number 10 car either, just fuel, and no leash. Now it comes out.
And there was a leash.
Stop.
There was a leash on the fuel man, and it was just the merest of tugs. Magnificent exit from Jordan Taylor, and it had to be because he's got right behind him Van Overbeek and Barbosa, and they're up to speed, and he's just got out ahead of them. Behind them, Nunes. So Dane Cameron and Joel Miller have not made their second and final stop yet, and they have now got to time this perfectly, because these guys who are out there are lapping very quickly indeed. Van Overbeek's just done his and the car's fastest lap of the race with a 25.5. Wow. Cameron leads, Miller second, 31 Cadillac, 70 Mazda. Jordan Taylor will hold on to third position. Very quick stop. 35 seconds for that number 10 car. That's in to out. Joel Miller comes in from second position. This looks like fuel only, Shea.
It is fuel only. They are not doing new tires on this car. So again, every prototype contender who's come down the pit lane, except for Ryan Dial, has done fuel only. That number 2 car with tires, and a beautiful exit from Joel Miller of the pit box.
I thought it was a bit conservative. Looked like he was pulling out of the drive-through. No tyre spin, but he might be holding on to it. Got to look to the left-hand side as they go through. It's going to be tight. I think he's going to lose second place. Jordan Taylor through. Looked like they put a lot of fuel in that Mazda, and Jordan Taylor's gone back through in a second on the pit stop cycle. So staying out there did not pay off for the Mazda. Now, Dane Cameron, 30 seconds up the road. Cameron's got to get the hammer down. His last lap was a 27.4, and Jordan Taylor is getting up the pace very quickly. If that 31 car is going to hold on to the lead, it's got to stop now. It has to stop now. The question to me will be, do you risk new tyres? I don't think you can.
And John, they're not prepared for him to come in. The fuel man is not up on the wall. They do have tires ready, but they always have them up on these little stands in case of a puncture.
Well,
but they are not pitting him now.
Their gamble now, Shea, is that they leave him out there and they don't need to put a full load of fuel in. The cars can go 40 minutes, the Cadillacs can go 40 minutes. So every lap that he does now doesn't need a full fuel load, bit less. All about the traffic at the moment, and he's in the GTD traffic at the moment. Our leader, he's just gone past Andrew Davies, and he's now in behind the battle for first in GT Daytona. Alessandro Balzan ahead of him, it's costing him time, and Jordan Taylor's just done the fastest second sector of anyone. Fastest man on the track that time around, though, that was a 24 from somebody. I think that was Nunes, and 24.915 from Steven Simpson that time around. 24.333 from Jordan Taylor. 26.5 from the Whelen Engineering racing car, the bright red and white car that leads the motor race. Has got to get past Andy Lally and get past him quickly. Does the big wide swing back onto the strand at the exit of the fountain section. Andy Lally, seasoned driver, sees him, lets him go. Well done. Oh man, this is going to be tight. This is going to be tight. And do you put new Continental tyres on the leader? Doesn't cost you any time necessarily, but will he have the pace? Jordan Taylor looking to put another quick lap in here. 31.8 seconds at the line. What will it be as Jordan comes around? 29.8. So it is coming down. Now I don't think that the lead car now can get in and out without losing the lead. That lead is gone already. They are racing for second place now, and Joel Miller in the Mazda might still be in this. What they've got to do now, if you're Dave Cameron, if he's got a car underneath them, 23.2 last time around, and a new fastest lap of the race, and that is getting very, very close to the outright lap record here, just a 10th away from the mark set last year by the Daytona prototype Corvette. Well, Dane Cameron's only hope now is to stay out and go as long as he can, and then splash the car at the end, because he hasn't got time to do a full pit stop right now. So every bit of fuel that he's burning means that he has to, every lap he stays out, he burns more fuel. Every bit of fuel, drop of fuel that he burns means less time standing still in the pits that they have to put fuel in. Has to be a timed splash, and the 31 car has got to stay out. The traffic that he's just gone through, Jordan Taylor will come to shortly, and then we will see that gap stretch out again, maybe. 24.1 for Dane Cameron. That's his fastest lap of the race, now that he's clear of the traffic. So he lost 5 seconds in traffic last time around. What does he gain this time? Jordan Taylor still on a quick one. Down at 27.7 seconds, that lead. But Jordan Taylor has still got this line of 10 GTD cars to go through. 31 Cadillac, the red and white car. 23.107, another fastest lap of the race by Jordan Taylor, and the gap is down to 27.5 seconds. But he's got this line of 8 GTD cars he's got to get through, and Dave Cameron is hoping and praying that there's no full course yellow before the 10 car gets through it. 23.107 is a new lap record, 102 miles an hour average. Nearest makes no difference. Now, the Whelen car in clear air has got to make hay in the afternoon sun here. 35 minutes left. He can't go to the end from here. They've now made their strategic decision. They've got to stay out. They've got to run that car, and Dane Cameron's got to drive qualifying laps now, because he's got to keep that lead, or if possible extend it. And then it will have to be the absolute perfect pit stop. They've got to calculate the very least amount of time that they can be standing still in the pit lane to get the fuel in, to get him out. And they've got to get him out ahead of Jordan Taylor. I honestly don't think that the 31 car has got the pace of the 10 this weekend. They've got to do it on strategy. The 10 car rumbles past me across the line. Another fastest lap, no, 23.1. So the gap is still coming down. 26.5 seconds. Eric Curran out of the 31 car. Brilliant first in, and great weekend for Eric Curran. But he's seeing his teammate Dane Cameron being closed down by the number 10 car. But the number 10 car, Shea Adam, now in the traffic. This is where Jordan Taylor could win or lose the race. You have Eric Curran with you now.
We're seeing a lot of traffic out there that Dane Cameron had to work his way through. But Eric, you were sitting here watching on the box. Are you feeling nervous? Are you comfortable? What's going through your mind?
Well, I don't know about comfortable, but we've had a strong wheel in Cadillac all day, and we have one more pit stop to make and put fuel in this thing. So I don't know. It's going to be close. Most of the other guys have pitted, and you know, it's just a mixed match of traffic. Dane's just got shuffled through. I think he's kind of on the front side of the traffic, but the guys behind him are right in the mix of it. So it's going to be interesting. We got to do a quick stop and get back out there, and hopefully it'll be a shorter stop because we waited a little bit longer. So fingers crossed, but I think it's going to be a hard run at the end.
How long can Dane go before he has to come into the pits?
That's a good question. We leave that up to these guys up in the box. They don't leave me in charge of that. So I don't know. I think it's going to be pretty close, I would guess. The cars don't go as long as they used to with what fuel they've given us. So yeah, we'll see. It's a tricky game because you're trying to manage fuel and go fast at the same time. So it's never easy.
Yeah, but Dane's good at that. Good luck.
Thank you very much.
Dane's very good at that. He's just put the car's fastest lap of the race in, 1:23.9, and he gains back. See, he's just gained back 3 seconds as Jordan Taylor has to go through. It's up to 28.9. Now you're starting to get close to the window where they could maybe do a very short pit stop and get away with it. And remember, Jordan Taylor came in first of the Cadillacs. Of these two Cadillacs that we're talking about, they were right on 40 minutes as he rolled out, and we've been told that 40 minutes is the upper limit for the Cadillacs in terms of their fuel mileage. Good lap last time around, by the way, for Johannes van Overbeek in 4th position, his and the car's fastest lap of the race. Here's how it stands with 32 minutes to go. Leaders fighting their way through the GT Daytona battle, which I'll come to in a moment. Dane Cameron leads by 29.9 seconds. Let's call it half a minute, shall we, between friends, but has one splash and dash pit stop to go. That's number 31, the red, white Whelen car. Jordan Taylor mired in the GTD battle. He's up behind Jens Klingmann, who's in 6th position at the moment in that GTD battle, and there's no way round. He's going to have to use the power of the Cadillac to get through, which he now does, but that's more time lost for Jordan Taylor. But he can't get frustrated there. He's got to just stick to his task. 3rd position, and now just 3.3 seconds behind Joel Miller in the number 70 after a brilliant restart after the full course yellow for the 70 Mazda, the dark grey car, or the grey Mazda should I say. He's in 3rd, and he has 2.2 seconds on Johannes van Overbeek in the 22. The Nismo powered Ligier, the ESM Tequila Patron car in 4th, and he's on another quick lap this time around. Joao Barbosa, Cadillac number 5 in 5th position. He's only a second further back, and he's got Tristan Nunez in the second of the Mazdas, the 55 car, that's the red car, for company in 6th position. Behind them, Steven Simpson is now close to within half a second, so 5th, 6th and 7th now within a second of each other in the 85 car at the back of that little train of prototypes. In GT Daytona, Andy Lally leads by 1.1 seconds from Alessandro Balzan. That's the black and white Acura from the red and white 63 Ferrari. Then Andrew Davis right in the wheel tracks of the Audi, and Jeff Siegel less than a second further back. 93 63, 57 Audi and 86 Acura for the top 4. Then Madison Snow just another 3/10 further back, so they're all battling. This is what I'm talking about this long train of cars that the prototypes have to fight their way through. Snow in the 48 Lamborghini has Jens Klingmann just half a second behind him, and Sage Karam now at the wheel of the 14 Lexus. He's in 7th position in the class. So much going on the circuit at the moment. This is proper endurance racing. It might be a sprint race with half an hour exactly to go, 30 minutes on the clock. But this is exactly what we like to see in multi-class racing. The drivers at the front of the wheel, the front of the field, having to plan and scheme and plot their way through the traffic, who are all having their own battles as well. We're live, trackside, a little before 2 o'clock in the afternoon here at Belle Isle in the Detroit River. John Hindhaugh and Shea Adam. Jeremy Shaw spotting for us today. Tammy will be delighted that Jeremy's lost his voice. Going to be a quiet week in the Shaw household. Now, Jordan Taylor, thanks to Jeremy watching, has cleared the traffic now, and the gap has gone up to 31 seconds between Dane Cameron and Jordan Taylor. The quickest pit stop last time around from pit in to pit out was Joao Barbosa at 34 seconds. Now, obviously, oh, touch, side by side, that's Mazda and JDC Motorsport 85 car. They're battling for 6th position. Tristan Nunez and Steven Simpson getting a bit better acquainted than perhaps they needed to. And trading pin there, and down the inside, the JDC car takes the position. Up to 6th then for Steven Simpson. The South African with a robust manoeuvre there, and he's immediately on the tail of the 5 car of Joao Barbosa. Sorry, just had to check myself for a moment there because I thought there was a problem with the engine on the 85 car, but it was just bouncing on the bumps. As there comes past Jens Klingmann on the far side of the circuit, just coming back towards us now, in fact. If I look to my right, all I see is headlights. It's pretty scary, that. I must stop doing that. So I look out the window and they're actually pointing straight towards me at almost VMAX. Shea Adam down in the pit lane, under half an hour to go now. And we've seen a couple of the cars roll the dice. The number 2 Nissan in first. The number 10. What are the faces like on the Konica-Minolta pit box? Because they were very tight on that 40 minutes. And Jordan Taylor now clear of the traffic, but he had to push very hard indeed.
They have very good poker faces that they've developed on the number 10, so there is not really any sort of emotion coming from those guys right now. I'm also keeping an eye on the 31 because as time elapses, the faces are getting more and more nervous down here for the Whelen Engineering crew. So it's really turning into a battle of, well, let's just wait and see. But the 31, of course, really hoping that a caution comes out and maybe they can save enough fuel.
They're nowhere near that. Shea caution comes out now. That's their race over. They do not want to see a caution because they'll lose the 30.1 seconds of lead they have. They need this to go green and go green as long as possible, because remember, you can't dive in the pits here if it goes full course yellow. Pits are closed. Everybody is closed up behind the safety car, and at that point they lose everything. That's the gamble that they're taking at the moment. Slow. Oh, Stevenson car! Stevenson car going slowly, very slowly indeed on the strand, the back straight. That was third place for Andrew Davis. He's lost that and more. Now, the car, I'm looking at it, it doesn't seem to have damage. It's got air in the Continental tyres, but it's just not up to speed. Fire in the V10, I can hear it ticking over. Andrew Davis talking to the pits. He's going to make it to the pit lane, but barely. And what has gone wrong here? Robbed at the last of a podium, surely, and perhaps even more. Pole position. Oh, he's not. Got to get the 31 car in right now. Got to get it in right now. It's gone past. It's gone past. He should have come in there. He's not going to make it to the pit lane. He stopped just at the pit lane entrance. 31 car has got to come to the pit lane this time around. Now, can Andrew Davis do them a solid? If he gets it in on the starter motor, he's in the pit lane. Yellow flags are waving, local yellows at the start of the front straight. The being withdrawn. He's in the pit lane. Wow!
But
Bullet
John,
dodged.
This might actually turn out to be a worse thing, because if Andrew Davis is stopped at the entrance of the pit lane, they will close the pit lane.
Yes, that's a good point, Shea. That depends how much room they've got. He's just done his fastest first lap of the race. No yellow. Pits are closed because the car is in the pit lane. I think that's the issue. Ah, yes, because we're inside 30 minutes now. It could be a short yellow, so the pits might not close. But the problem is, if the pit lane is blocked by that car, that might be a moot point. Yellow flags are out again. Yellow flags are out again on the start-finish line. Why are the yellow flags out at the start-finish line? There's a yellow flag out just beside us. Is that for the pit lane? And the 57 is in the pits. It's in the pits, it's tripped the line. Huge sigh of relief from the Whelen car. Dane Cameron is on his fastest lap of the race now. He's got nothing ahead of him. He's just crossed the line to complete 46 laps at a 1:23.8. Wow, that was a close call. Man, you say, that's why I'm not on the pit wall. I would have had Dane in right in at that point there. Definitely would have done that. That was a massive gamble. Shea, Adam?
The problem, though, John, is that the entrance to this pit lane is so narrow that even having the car stop there is causing an issue.
Yeah.
They have cleared the mechanics to go down and push the car behind the wall. There is an entrance down there, which is what the Stevenson guys have done. But this is heartbreak for the pole-sitting GTD car.
Yes, I'm not suggesting at all you should go on and stick a mic underneath Lawson Aschenbach's nose at the moment. A great battle going on for 5th position. Joao Barbosa and the 85, the yellow Pearl, JDC Miller Motorsport. And Steven Simpson doing a great job, having cleared Tristan Nunez in the Mazda. He's now trying to fight his way up through the positions. 5th drive line issue for the 57. Shea, Adam, thank you. Lawson Aschenbach, what a class act. Came and found Shea there in the moment of desperation. What a change in that driver over the last few years. Really become one of the leading lights in the GT class of E. Selected by Continental to be one of the drivers for the development. They're getting ready for the 30 car. for the 31 car. Shea Adam is down at the Whelen Engineering pit.
Much like what we saw at Circuit of the Americas, John, they have a stick prepared to hit the fueler on the helmet with. Now, at Circuit of the Americas, they discovered that the helmet was maybe a little bit too thick, so they wound up hitting him sort of across the shoulder. We'll have to wait to see where they decide to hit him today, but yeah.
They didn't just get a bigger stick. You see that, Mina?
Well, let me see. Well, it does look a little bit thicker, actually. No, it's still a broomstick handle. They didn't get a baseball bat, if that's what you were asking.
In this day and age of technology, the fact that a strap, a harness, if you will, or a piece of broomstick handle is used to tell the fueler when to withdraw the nozzle. A great battle going on, by the way, in GTD still. Lally and Balzan 2 seconds apart. But then Jeff Siegel, Madison Snow, Jens Klingman in 86 Acura, Lamborghini, BMW number 96, Sage Karam in the Lexus. They're all line astern. And then Gunnar Jeanette's not too far back either in the 50. And here comes the Whelen Engineering car. 22 minutes to go. He had 29 seconds of a lead last time around. Now he's into the pit lane. I'll hand it to our Continental Tire pit lane reporter, and I look to the right and wait for the Cadillac.
It has made its way down, and the bright red car committing very early to its pit box. Dane Cameron is clear on his instructions of what to do. The fueler goes in. No problems getting the fuel hose in.
Taylor is on the front straight now, Shea.
They are just doing fuel for this car. No tires. The fuel's still going on. The stick waiting in the air. Now it hits them.
They've lost it. They've already lost it. The 10's gone through, and it's going to be a comfortable lead for Ricky Taylor. Dane Cameron had done his fastest first sector. You can't blame him for that. Great in-lap from Cameron. Jordan Taylor with a 23.2, and the gap is half the length of the straight between turns 2 and 3. The roll of the dice has not worked for the Whelen Engineering Cadillac number 31 team, and after disaster for the championship leading number 10 Cadillac in qualifying when it hit the wall, had to start from the back of its class. It's now, with 21 minutes to go, leading at the Raceway at Belle Isle in the IMSA WeatherTech SportsCar Championship, the Chevrolet Sports Car Classic. Wow, brilliant stuff. And now we can look back at more racing in the prototype category, because there's still battles to go on. Joao Barbosa and Steven Simpson are still at it, figuratively hitting each other with sticks, not as we've just seen in the pit lane as it's actually happening in GT Daytona. What a race for Acura, first and third at the moment, although third under pressure. Yeah, Jeff Siegel dead last start. Thank you, Shea. Just reminding me in my ears. Madison Snow there wanting to take that position away. Third, fourth, fifth, absolutely line astern as they head out onto the strand for what will be their 49th time of asking. This has been a great GTD race, but what did we expect, frankly, when we had 8 cars at one stage, 13 cars at one stage within 0.8 of a second. 20 drivers through the course of the weekend putting in a time within 1 second. Just remarkable. So Jordan Taylor has a 6.7 second lead, and that lead is going out. Took 0.4 of a second out of Dane Cameron in the first sector, and it is what we've seen for the whole season. No matter what adversity we've seen this weekend, plenty of that thrown at the 10 team. They've won from the front in the past. They've had to do it the hard way this time, and with 19 minutes to go, it looks like another victory for the 10 car. Being told off for jinxing them now. Extraordinary performance from this team this year. Joel Miller with a great performance for Mazda in third, but he's 7.5 seconds away from he's 11 and let me do that again, because that's just changed. 11 seconds away from second place. He's got 6 seconds on Johannes van Overbeek. This is a nice run for Nissan number 22 as well. Not a great run for the second place car in the championship. That's the Fittipaldi and Barbosa car, and they'll lose that position if it stays the way it is now. Shea Adam has news on Joel Miller in the 70 Mazda.
It really would be a heartwarming day for the whole Mazda organization if the number 70 Mazda could make it to the podium. Joel Miller and Tom Long, the two drivers with more starts in this series than any other, without a podium finish.
Yeah, 18 minutes to go. Of course, full course yellow would throw a massive spanner in the works. I'm still going to put a slight question mark over the fuel of the number 10 Cadillac. And a 24.2, I mean, they're not saving fuel, so they must be confident. I hope they've done their sums right and remember to carry the 3, because if they haven't, they're in real trouble. They came out at spot on 40 minutes to go. It might have been 2 or 3 seconds over that. And we were told 40 minutes, the absolute outside for those cars at full pace. He's had to fight through traffic. He's had to do the fastest lap of the race. This is very, very interesting. So maybe Dane Cameron, who can go full rich, who can push hard, having had the splash of fuel. Johannes van Overbeek in the 22 Nissan, the only car in the top 10 that's only done one, or in the top prototype, should I say, that's only done one pit stop. So Van Overbeek, when does that car have to come in? And that will promote Joao Barbosa into the top 4. And Steven Simpson into the top 5. GT Daytona, always a battle at the head of the field. It's just a second between Andy Lally and Alessandro Balzan, 93 Acura from 63 Ferrari, and they're trading tenths of seconds. And both putting in fastest sectors for their cars on this lap. Jeff Siegel in 3rd, looking to put together a fastest lap for that car, as he tries to shake off the attention to the 48 Lamborghini, the black and red car of Madison Snow. Meantime, in 5th place, Joao Barbosa has the terrier-like Steven Simpson just half a second behind him as he goes through the fountain section and back onto the waterfront on the Strand. Beautiful day for a little bit of boating. A better day to be trackside watching this race, the IMSA WeatherTech SportsCar Championship, with 15 minutes to go. Dane Cameron finds the fastest sector 3 of the race, and in fact takes time out of the leader for the first time in a while, because the leader's in traffic. Goes down the inside of the number 15. That's the Lexus of Jack Hawksworth, so he's into this battling line of cars again. You didn't want to see that. But of course, Dane Cameron will have to come across these cars as well. But danger time for the leader always is when you start lapping cars again. Sage Karam, the next Lexus that he needs to go by. Pretty good run for the Lexus team here, pretty much on home ground from Lansing, Michigan. Paul Gentilozzi saw him here earlier on, parking his car next to us here, or walking back over. A bit of debris on the circuits at various places, and detritus of the racing. 1 or 2 little bits of paper bag as well, which could spell disaster for your cooling ducts. Don't want one of them in there. Pleasant day. Wind's getting up a little bit at the moment. High cloud though, nothing to worry about weather-wise. 1st and 2nd in GTD, running down towards turn number 3. Between them, 2.1 seconds. Balzan's lost a little bit of a gap. And the gap from 1st to 2nd coming down gradually in stages, but Dane Cameron with perhaps a little bit more fuel on board, but certainly hasn't hit the traffic yet. It's down to 3 seconds, was 6. Jordan Taylor has now cleared the GT Daytona scrap. 14 minutes to go. It's going to be the longest 14 minutes of Jordan Taylor's life. And for Dane Cameron, it's going to disappear like snow when the sun comes out in March. Great battling all day by the Paul Miller Racing Lamborghini team. And Madison Snow is within sight of standing on the podium with his teammate. as the second place car is fighting his way through. Actually, this has been a really good drive by Dane Cameron, because he is still making up time, and he's in the traffic now as he comes through to the third placed Acura. Oh, and another problem for a Mercedes-Benz. Slow, the WeatherTech car, the 5-0, it's on the back straight. Well, this could turn everything upside down if this needs a full course yellow. That gap of 4.6 seconds would evaporate. But the fuel issues, perhaps, any worries would disappear. Again, this is a car that looks to have all four wheels on it. Have they not done their sums? The 50 car, Gunnar Jeanette, has only made one pit stop, but they should have been able to get home from where they stopped. He's going to get it back into the pit lane. Oh, it's horribly jerky. There's something not right. Gunnar Jeanette takes his right hand off the wheel in a gesture of desperation. And that is a very sick-sounding AMG engine that's in front of Gunnar Jeanette. He's made it to the pit lane. So this time, it's the 10 team who breathe a sigh of relief. No full course caution necessary. Shea Adam is with Gunnar Jeanette as it pogo and kangaroos its way into its pit box.
It's definitely not out of fuel because the engine is still running, but the crew was not expecting the car to come in. Gunnar is revving the engine. Definitely does not sound healthy, like it's running on all cylinders, though. I think that might be day done for the 50. Gunnar shaking his head inside the car.
Don't forget the checkered flag on IMSA radio. We give up the PA, but the conversation continues as the race finishes. Michelin post-race tech, let's have your questions, points arising, observations at IMSA radio, hashtag Michelin PRT, please. And your nominations for the spirit of the race too. To BI for Belle Isle, SOTR, same one. And problem on the front straight. Oh, it's the 85 car. 85 car went straight on, and there's been an accident with Tristan Nunez. This is Steven Simpson, as Johannes van Overbeek, as I suspected, has gone into the pit lane. Now, no, oh my goodness, we've got away from it as well. 85 diving inside Steven Simpson trying to dive inside Joao Barbosa. That's who he was up with as he went across the line. And not only did he not get the number 5 car for 4th position, but now he's lost 5th position to the 55. He must have been so close to hitting the wall. Very late dive down the inside. Had position-ish. Not right up alongside. How did he not hit the wall? And Tristan Nunez, brilliant avoiding action as he went to the right-hand side. Steven Simpson letting the brakes off, really, when he should have held them on as he was going backwards across the track. And now there's another problem. It's the 2 car. Ryan DL at turn 3. And has he had damage? Because that's a slow car going. We'll see. That car's got a long way to get back to the pits. Ryan DL, Shea Adam, what can you give us?
The number 50 just went back out. They popped the hood and jiggled some of the wires. They had a loose connection under the hood of this SLS. But boy, what a turn of fate from our last street course, Long Beach, where Mercedes were 1 and 2. Now we're going to be lucky to have one finish even within the top 10 after 3 started. But the 22 came in, fuel only for Johannes van Overbeek.
Change of position there. Sage Karam and Jack Hawksworth battling in internecine battle. No, I think Karam just stayed ahead, but Karam's just done his fastest lap of the race. 14 from 15 there. It's all change in the minor positions of GT Daytona. At the head, Alessandro Bolzan is closing back in on Andy Lally. 93 Acura from 63 Ferrari. Then Jeff Siegel just 2/10 further back. Just 3 seconds further back. And then the great battle that continues there with Madison Snow. Will know every square inch of the back of that 86 car off by heart. He'll be able to draw it from memory by the time he gets to the end of this race, because he's been staring at it and he touches it coming out of the fountain section. Just a little love tap to say, don't you try and stand me up in the middle of the corner, sir. I see that. I see what you're trying to do. Now, can he get a run in behind the 70 Mazda, which is lapping the pair of them? Jens Klingman's not that far behind in the blue and white BMW as well. No, can't take advantage there. 4 seconds, the gap at the head of the field. And Dane Cameron still managing to take time out of the leader, but Jordan Taylor is judging this perfectly. 8.5 minutes to go. There's no time for a cough and a splutter from the 10 car if they've got their fuel numbers wrong. Shea Adam, dare you go down and speak to Wayne Taylor at Conningham and Alta Racing?
Not right now.
No.
I'm waiting for the number 2 car to come in. Wayne Taylor is one of those people that...
Two car is in the pit lane now, Ryan DL.
Yes, going straight behind the wall, I believe. They had the pit board out to signal him to stop in the box, but he is going all the way down, and there's a pit lane official standing at pit out, pointing him back into the garage area. So day done. Race number 2 in a row. Day done for the number 2.
Number 10 Cadillac leads by 4.5 seconds from this 31 Cadillac. 22 seconds to the 70 Mazda in third, 5.5 seconds further back the 5 Cadillac in fourth, 3.5 seconds to the Mazda number 55 in fifth position. Now 13 seconds further back the 85 Orica of Steven Simpson in sixth, and Johannes van Overbecken at further 14 seconds back in seventh. In GT Daytona, 2 seconds between first and second, Acura 93 and Ferrari number 63. Then the battle for third. Jeff Siegel in the 86 Acura, Madison Snow and Jens Klingman are pretty much all on the same piece of the racetrack. But the Acura very quick in a straight line. The Lamborghini better through the corners. 86, 48, 96. The BMW just not able to get in a position to put some pressure on the 2 cars ahead. But don't put any money at the moment on who's going to come third. Could be any one of those 3. Could be none of them if they tangle, because Sage Karam's only a further 2 seconds further back in the best of the Lexus. His teammate Jack Hawksworth half a second back. They are coming in formation, 14 and 15. What a race this has been in GT Daytona. Still only 9 seconds between the top, 7, 8 cars after 94 minutes of racing. 6 to go, 6 minutes to go, time certain race. Don't forget your nominations for the team that you feel most accurately shows the spirit of the race. Hashtag SOTR. Sorry, BISOTR, Belle Isle, SOTR to at IMSA Radio. And your questions, please, for Michelin Post-Race Tech. Shea and I will be taking those for you after the checkered flag. And that is hashtag Michelin PRT. Hashtag Michelin PRT to at IMSA Radio. That is on IMSA Radio only. We'll have the PA back. And IMSA TV will be going off the air.
Can I give my nominations?
You can.
I get to do 2 because Jeremy can't talk, so I'll do one in honor of him. I'm going to go with the 10, the Wayne Taylor Racing, because, come on, they start from the last in class, leading the race with 5 minutes to go. It is the Cinderella story. The other one that we really have to take into consideration, though, Michael Shank Racing. Yeah. The 86 started dead last. They're up to third. You got Andy Lally and Catherine Lake. Neither one have ever won at this track. They are currently leading the class, and Michael Shank entered the Indianapolis 500 last weekend. Childhood dream for the first time. It didn't go according to plan. They unfortunately DNF'd with that team. What redemption would it be to get a win here a week later? 7-0 Mazda and Joel Miller in particular for me, but the whole team have done a cracking job. Turned that car around quickly. Joel Miller absolutely on fire on the restart. And a potential podium position for Sylvain Tremblay and the Speed Source team, Mazda Motorsports, and John Doonan. John Doonan's birthday not so very long ago. Belated birthday present, but I think he'll take the belated part of this. Great run for the 70 car, and the 55, by the way, in 5th position. Those are our picks. Don't have to go with us. Got a better story you think needs bringing out? Hashtag BISOTR. Belle Isle SOTR to at IMSA Radio. Go through those at the end of the race when we get to Michelin Post-Race Tech. 4 minutes to go. Possibly 3 laps, probably only 2 for the leader. Depends when they come across the line. Another good lap by Dane Cameron. Took 3/10 out the leader, but it's not enough. Did the fastest second sector of the race. At Sector 1, last time around, Jordan Taylor, 27.164. Dane Cameron, 27.164. Second sector, 31.437. Dane Cameron, 31.318. They are trading
hundredths and thousandths of a second on the circuit. It's as if they were door to door, wheel to wheel. There's no doubt that despite the fact that they are 5 seconds apart, they are racing each other as hard as if they were side by side in a drag race for the finish. Brilliant stuff by both drivers, including getting through traffic. In GTD, it's still just on 2 seconds for the Acura that leads, and the 86 car goes wide. Was he pushed wide by Madison Snow? He's lost 2 positions, 3rd, down to 4th, down to 5th, as through goes Madison Snow and Jens Klingmann going into turn 7, that was, at the end of the back straight at the Strand. Last lap times for the number 10, 1:23.6, 1:23.6, 1:20, is that 28? 23. 23.5 and 23.6, brilliantly consistent, all within a tenth of a second of each other on the last 4 laps for Jordan Taylor. And Jeremy Shaw managed to get all of that information to me without saying a word. He is the Pictionary champion right now. Brilliant stuff. I'm not playing charades with him at a dinner party, and he's not against him anyway. I can have him on my team, he'd be brilliant. 2 minutes and very few seconds, 7 seconds to go. And there are still battles down through the field, and Jeff Siegel now fighting a rearguard action with the 2 Lexus who have dragged up to the back of him. Oh, and down the inside, the 2 Lexus are going to come together. Wow, that was close. Jack Hawksworth at turn 6, very nearly taking his teammate out, and he's on a hurry up because he's got Colin Brown in the 54 car sticking the Porsche, the Core Autosport Porsche, right up the inside of the Strand. Couldn't get there. Now goes to the left. Seam, Sage and Jack, roommates, weren't very pleasant there. Down into turn 7, and right in there as well, the 73, Jorn Bergmeister. This is 17th, 18th and 19th overall, which is 7th, 8th and 9th in class. The pause there was because I actually had to get down through it. They're that close together. Brilliantly judged race by the Cunningham and Alta team. It should be white flag this time around for Jordan Taylor. Just over 3 miles still to go, as through across the line goes Jeff Siegel. Lost those 2 places a couple of laps ago when he went wide at turn 3. Trying to fight back now. White flag is in the air. 2.3 miles now for Jordan Taylor. A 1:24.2. I think it's enough. If there's no cough, if there's no splutter, if there's no worries with traffic. But they're on the same piece of the track at the moment. The red and white 31 Wheeler Engineering car can see its quarry. 4.5 seconds, a 23.9 last time around from Dane Cameron. He's not giving this up. He's going to push the 10 car all the way to the line. Unofficially, I think that they will jump up to second in the championship in that 32 car. I'll let Jeremy do the arithmetic and we'll confirm that in Michelin post-race tech. Who had the 10 car to win in the IHG podiumpredictor.com? Shea Adam?
I did.
Who did you have second?
I had the 55 and then the 31.
Ooh, okay. Well, who is going to beat Calvin Fish today? www.podiumpredictor.com. It is the last lap. The white flag was out last time around, halfway around the circuit. Jordan Taylor can't lift off. He can't let his concentration go. He's got 2 more kinks. I can see him now. He can almost kick it out of gear and coast to the line, but he's not going to. And it's a Cadillac victory in the Chevrolet Sports Car Classic in the middle of the Detroit River. A hometown team in terms of the manufacturer wins. In fact, our first and second, the margin of victory, 4.9 seconds. Shea Adam with this Continental Tire pit lane report from the winner's pit.
Well, Ricky Taylor, when you guys won Daytona and Sebring, it was the childhood dream coming true. When you won Long Beach, it was kind of expected. When you won COTA, it was kind of expected. But this one, you guys had to work for it. How does it feel?
I almost ruined it yesterday, but holy cow, our team is just, I can't get over our guys. The pit stop at the beginning, jumping 2 cars and then the stop at the end and the strategy all through the race was unbelievable. I mean, our car was in a million pieces yesterday, and they stayed up till after midnight getting it together. And I mean, what can I say? We're in Detroit, home of Cadillac and General Motors, with, you know, over 60 people from the design center. We've got a bunch of Konica Minolta guests, so can't believe it. I mean, 5 straight is, this one I didn't expect.
Congrats, Ricky.
Thank you.
And across the line now to win GT Daytona, a maiden victory for Acura, for Andy Lally, for Catherine Legg, in front of her father Derek, who's here today watching the race, come over from the UK. 2.4 seconds from Alessandro Balzan and Christina Nielsen in second place, with Madison Snow up into third in the closing stages with Brian Sellers in the Lamborghini number 48. That's going to turn things around in the championship and close things up, because the Ben Keating Jerome Blekemolen car, which leads that championship, was out early on, and the Balzan Nielsen car are going to get a lot closer there. What a race in PC. It was 42 seconds for the pole sitting Performance Tech 38 ahead of the 26 car and the 20 in third. But now perhaps we have seen the true grit of the Konica Minolta 10 team. They have won from adversity. But Michael Shank Racing take their first victory for Acura, and Michael will be absolutely delighted, as our Continental Tire pit lane reporter Shea Adam is with him now. I think they must have been tight on fuel. That 93 car's going very slowly now, Shea.
Well, Michael has a smile on his face that we haven't seen for a while. This is something special. A week ago, you were at Indianapolis. Now you're a race winner at Belle Isle. How's this feel?
It's unbelievable. I'm so pleased for Acura and the NSX brand, the guys, the drivers. I mean, you think about that pit stop. We went from 2 to 1, and that was the difference right there. 2-star top, 2-tire stop, and it was awesome. I can't say enough about the performance of every person on this right now. I'm just really excited.
Congrats. Let's see if I can find Catherine really quick, because I saw that she was around here somewhere. Her first win in IMSA competition. She spent many years in this form of racing, and Catherine comes over and gives a big hug to Oz Negri, her co-driver. This really is a family, and they all work together, and they all work really hard for this. So for everybody, this is a celebration.
Yeah. I'm just going to throw a late shout out for Spirit of the Race Award for the 63. Christina Nielsen and Alessandro Balzan and their team, because they turned that car around brilliantly in the pits. 4th podium a row for the 63 car. Big donuts. It was National Donut Day yesterday, so we're a day late for the donuts from Andy Lally, but I'm sure he won't mind about that. We'll get a word with the second place teams before we hand the PA back here. Don't forget Michelin Post Race Tech coming up on IMSA Radio. Shea Adam is down in the pit lane. Shea, I'll hand it back to you to see if we can grab another interview as they're on their way to the victory circle here. Shea?
Managed to get Catherine. What an emotional day for you. I know your dad's here watching to cheer you on your first win. This is pretty spectacular.
Yeah, I'm just so happy for Michael Shank Racing, Acura, and HBD right now. I mean, they gave us a car that was capable of going and getting it done, and we did, and we gave them their first win, which is going to be special for forever, right?
It is, and especially being here in the Chevy-dominated area. A Honda got on pole in IndyCar, and now you guys in Acura and Honda effort, you managed to get a win in GTD. That's got to make it even better.
Yeah, that's a little bit politically above my pay grade. But, you know, for us, it doesn't matter who we're racing against. We've got some great brands that are out there racing, and this time we came out on top, and I'm really proud of Andy, really proud of the team, and very grateful that today was our day.
Well, congrats.
Thank you.
And John, as we talked about earlier on in the broadcast, when you win, you get a month to think about it before Watkins Glen.
Yeah, and when you don't, you get a month to commiserate with your team before we're at the Salem 6 Hours at the Glen, which is our next race here on IMSA Radio. Thank you to everyone here at the circuit for allowing us to take over the PA, and to IMSA TV, our colleagues, as well as our technical staff here, Brian, Tyler, Ron, the rest of the guys and their counterparts here flawless this weekend on a temporary circuit. Penske organisation know how to do things well here at Belle Island. Long may this race continue. It will be Tony Laporta who will take you here at the circuit through the formalities. Thanks to Jeremy Shaw, little out of sorts today. We'll have his voice back by the time we get up to the Finger Lakes region of New York in a month's time. Shea Adam in our Continental Tire Pit Lane reporter. I'm John Hindus. Thanks for joining us. The IMSA WeatherTech SportsCar Championship will continue for the rest of the 2017 season. If that was your first look at it, it's pretty much always like that, and it's all live here on IMSA Radio.